Well, got some sad news, at least for me. Nobody else is going to think it's sad, but it is for me. This generator has, I guess, had enough. So, as you may remember, I don't know, I bought this generator 31 months ago, so almost 3 years ago. And I bought it for $300, and it's just a little Chinese generator. It's 15, let's see, yeah, it's 1500 peak watts, and it's let's see if we can find it here, 1000 output regular. So starting watts 1500 and 1000 watts for running watts. It's an inverter generator, although not near as quiet as the suitcase generators, like the Champion generators that I use for welding. I'll show you one here. Now, prior to buying that PowerSmart, so this is what I mean by suitcase. Prior to buying that PowerSmart, I always bought Champion generators. Before they were suitcases, they were square boxes, like cubes. And so I had two of those. One burned up in the fire, and the other one I accidentally left gas in, and we were out in the middle of nowhere. And there was just no way to order a carburetor or clean it or anything. So we just went and bought another one, and it was a black suitcase. And we got that at Tractor Supply. And that one burned oil from the day we got it. It was the first one we got that ever burned oil. But it lasted 8,000 hours. It really did a fantastic job. Took us around the country, and I don't know, we probably used it here 2 years. I guess, 2 years. And it ran the well and did all kinds of stuff. So I was really happy with that. But here's what happened. We bought a dual fuel to replace that. I'm trying to remember the exact sequence of things. We bought a dual fuel to replace that one I just showed you. And then her son came to stay with us for a while in the camper, and he needed the dual fuel because he wanted the air conditioner and different things. And we just needed something to charge better, so we got this. Now, I know a lot of people told me I shouldn't have never gotten this. It was a cheap piece of junk. But I knew that at the time. I realized that's what it was. It was a cheap piece of junk. But, you know, I already had the dual fuel. So as soon as her son left, I figured if this one didn't last, we still had the dual fuel. Well, then Champion put their generators on sale, and I couldn't resist, so I went ahead and bought a second one. So now I have two Champions. One of them I'm actually using down there since this one is not doing so well. And then that's the new one I'm using down there. I kind of run them equally, so they both get a little bit of run time when I do run them. Normally I just use them for welding because I've got them tied together. I've showed you that in welding videos where I can tie the two of them together and get twice as much power out of them. So what I noticed though, while her son was here, was this uses a lot less gas than the Champion. So I just figured this was a good deal because we were saving gas, even if it didn't last. Now, I really like this thing. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with it. It was noisier, and that's the only thing I didn't like about it. But other than that, starts on first pull. It still starts on first pull, even though it's having major issues right now. I've shut off the gas because I don't want to clog up the carburetor. We're going to continue, before I tell you what's wrong with it, we're going to continue to use it to, you know, run the vacuum, or if I need to run the grinder to sharpen blades. Just quick little things. I can leave it up here. It's light. It's easy to handle. So we'll just leave it up here and use it for knickknacks, but we can't use it for very long because it starts acting up. So I was running this pretty hard there for a while. I had two battery chargers. One of them burned up, so I only have one battery charger now, but I had two. And what I would do is I would run both battery chargers at the same time on this little generator. I have the battery chargers were both identical, and they can charge at 2 amps, 10 amps, or 25 amps. So I would turn one battery charger on at 25 amps and the other battery charger at 10 amps, and that was the max power this could produce. I couldn't do any more. So that gave me 35 amps of charging. And so my batteries would charge a lot faster. But it was really putting a strain on this. Well, at the time I didn't really pay attention to what was going on, but I figured it out later that it started smoking a little. Not smoking. It's never smoked, actually. I should say that. It started burning oil. It used to never burn oil, but then about once every 5 gallons of gas, the low oil sensor would shut it off. Every 5 gallons of gas. So roughly about every 25 hours. I changed oil religiously on this. Every 5 gallons of gas, I would change oil, which equaled out to about 25 hours roughly. So, but other than that, there was no issues with this ever. So the other day, it kept dying. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was doing. I guess it died. Oh, no, I know what happened. I went down there and tried to start it, and it was so hard to start. It's the first time. Like I said, it always starts on first pull. So I noticed the air filter was really dirty for some reason, so I cleaned the air filter, came back down there, and it started right up first pull. So I figured it was just a dirty air filter. But it turned out the next day there was a little bit more to it than that. So I went ahead and changed the next day because it was still having problems. I changed the fuel filter. Now, I've added a fuel filter to this. I changed the spark plug, and then when I pulled the spark plug out, I realized I had a problem. The spark plug was just completely crudded over. So I'm guessing that I'm burning oil. I mean, that's, the burned oil that it's been running. So I put a new spark plug on it. Well, I said I knew I had a problem. That was the problem, was the spark plug. So I put a new spark plug on it, started up, first pull, ran great. I mean, when I first bought this thing, it do a little surging, not much, just a little bit of surging when there was nothing attached to it. As soon as you added a little bit of, put something on it, that surging went away instantly. Just a little bit, a Dremel would take that surging out of it. So I never thought anything of it, but when I changed out that spark plug, the surging even went away. So I thought, this is fantastic. I'm going to get another couple of years out of that, I would think. Well, about 10 hours later, it started goofing up again. I had to add oil. I mean, it's starting to really use oil now. I told you about every 5 gallons of gas, but roughly 25 hours. I was having to add oil every 10 hours. So it's really increased. Now, when I have to add oil, the low oil shuts it off. So that means you got to add oil. So roughly, the amount of oil I put back in it is a funnel full. And that fills it back up. So this little funnel, I fill that up, I put it in there, fill it up, and that's all the oil it needs right there. So whatever that is, a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup, I don't know, maybe a cup of oil every 10 hours. And I was starting to think, that's a lot of oil. So then the next morning I got up and I tried to start again, and it wouldn't start. So I brought it back up here and took that spark plug out. I heated up the end with the torch, cleaned it up, put it back in, started right up. So now I know that it's using so much oil that it's crudding up that spark plug about every 10 hours. Well, I ran it for 15 minutes and it died again. And so I went down and started it up, and it started right back up. So about every 15 minutes now, it is dying. So I would imagine, something's goofed up, the spark plug or something. So I thought, well, I'm going to repair it. I do that for a living anyways, why not? So I got online and I tried to look for new rings, because I got the Champion I can still run temporarily until I get this fixed, is what I was thinking. I'll just run the Champion. So I got online, started looking for rings. And I couldn't find anything. I mean, nothing. There is nothing. No aftermarket, no original. They don't sell this anymore. I don't know when they discontinued it, but they discontinued it. But they didn't even supply parts for it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to check my owner's manual. I keep owner's manuals for everything, forever. Even if I don't have the equipment anymore, I still got owner's manuals laying around. And so got the owner's manual, and they had a whole parts list on it. So this generator is called a P. The part number on the generator is a PS55. PS, where is that? Oh yeah, right here. PS55. So the rings, oddly enough, the part number for the rings is PS55-16. And so I got on their chat line on their webpage, and they said if it's not on the search, if you can't search that part number, then they don't have it. So I called them just to see, because I think the chat was automated. It felt pretty live, but I think it was automated. So anyway, I called them. Same thing. If you can't find it online using that part number, then they don't have it. So it's just not anywhere. It's not on Amazon. Nowhere has it. I wanted to take a risk because they do sell a similar generator, but it's 2-cycle. Same size and everything. And I thought, you know, I could buy those rings, but then when I looked up those rings, they were $68. And I thought, no, I don't want to spend $68 just to find out they're not the correct size. So the other thing is, you know, the ignition coil could be going bad since I've messed up that spark plug several times now. That's why it's dying after 15 minutes. I could be, you know, I'm speculating. It could be. I didn't check. I could check the spark. It would be easily to figure out, but I just hadn't. So Carolyn said, well, let's just bring it up here. We can use it around here, you know, run the vacuum or the grinder or whatever. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm sure the trolls are going to come screaming at me again. I told you not to buy that piece of junk, and only lasted 31 months. Yeah, it lasted 31 months. So this thing was $300. And we figured it out, and that's $10 a month, basically. If my math is correct. But it's around there. It's $10 a month, roughly. And so you really think about it, $10 a month, well, I probably saved that much in gas instead of buying the other Champion. Now, like I said, propane, it actually costs more to run propane than it does gas on those dual fuel generators. So buying one of those, although I love them to death, I love those Champions, it just made more sense to run this. So I think the cost of fuel savings offset the amount of runtime. This thing lasted, I'm guessing, around 600 to 1,000 hours, somewhere in between there. So it's almost at the end of its life anyways. You know, these things only last that long. And it has done a fantastic job. So got online. Of course, they don't sell these anymore. I did find a suitcase generator that is 1,500 watts like this one, made by a different company. Really good reviews. And it was only $240. So it's $60 less than this one was. So I went ahead and got that, and I figured, well, you know, if it lasts 3 years, that's what, $6 a month or something. So I'm disappointed that it's not doing as well as it used to. But on the other hand, we can still use it, and it's going to be more convenient to have this thing up here for those little knick-knack things that you want to run. In order to run the Dremel, I got to run extension cord, go down there, turn on the inverter, walk back up the hill, or I could just start this thing up and run the Dremel. Just the little knick-knack things that you gotta do extra things while you're living off grid. So that's so tomorrow I'm supposed to get that new generator. So when we get that, I'll go ahead and make a video. I'm going to put a fuel filter on it. We'll get some a fuel filter. We'll put some oil in it, and then we'll start it up and run it and see how we like it. So, but like I said, that's going to be a suitcase generator. So I would imagine it's going to be quieter. This is not suitcase at all. I mean, it's completely open on the bottom. You know, the sides are just plastic. There's no soundproofing. So this one's pretty loud. So if you'll click this up next box to take the video over my other channel, I would appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, yeah, I guess try to justify your expenses so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.